Today, I chose the film 9 to 5. Well, it's not a typical chick flick. It is one of the best female-driven comedies about, women in the workforce. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody has to say about it. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So I'd never seen this movie, and this is my first time seeing it. I like this movie. I really like this movie. And it's incredible how it's very topical still, and it's also very sad because nothing has fucking changed in 40 fucking years.
What year was the movie? Did you look it up?
1980.
1980. The movie
I wasn't
40
sure.
years old.
Wow.
It's 40 years old.
I know.
And women are still dealing with the same fucking bullshit that they did in 1980. There's Dabney Coleman's everywhere still, And poor Dabney Coleman, he always had to play like the dickhead. Every movie he was ever in the 80s, he was like the dickhead machismo guy, but he's so good at it. So good.
He looks like a dickhead. His picture's in the dictionary.
So yeah, it's kind of sad. You leave it going, oh, that movie was really good, and wow, and yeah, women, and wait, this movie is old, and nothing has changed. So I think they need to remake this or start pumping it out again. And it also was the first to do a couple things, and I don't think people realized it. I mean, this is the original Horrible Bosses. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's one of the first movies where, how movies now, like comedies, they take a drug by accident or they do mushrooms and they have that little scene where they're tripping and it's funny. You know what I mean? All the comedies do that now. This was the first, and they did it with pot, and they each had a high, daydream.
Oh, I love that part of it.
High daydreams were great. So it's a groundbreaking movie for so many different reasons, and all the ground it broke with the topical political stuff. Unfortunately, they just laid cement over it again, and you got to keep breaking this ground. So it's a somber kind of note I'm leaving it on, but awesome movie. I laughed out loud many times. If you don't like this movie, something's wrong with you. That's all I'm going to say. It's a smart movie. It's not a chick flick. It's a really smart film with smart writing and actors, and it's awesome, but it's sad. I want my daughters one day to watch this movie, okay? I want them to know, hey, don't fucking put up with bullshit from dickheads, okay? I think every lady should watch this, but it's all, like I said, what are we doing about it, guys? What the fuck are we doing about it?
Well, the good news is that, I couldn't believe it was 40 years ago. And mostly I couldn't believe that I was alive when this was going on because I had, best friends who were girls when I was growing up or whatever. And I found a lot of it hard to believe, but then I thought back that, my first business partner, I was in mortgage banking, was Stacy London. She was this cute little petite, brilliant master's degree in finance, but we were in an all boys network. If you didn't drink martinis, smoke a cigar, and go golfing, we literally had to take up golf lessons just so that we could be part of the boys club or whatever. And they looked at us, we were in our, mid-20s or whatever, and they're thinking what the fuck is this guy doing with this girl? And so when I'm watching this movie, I'm just thinking, oh my God, these are all the fucking guys with the cigars on the golf course that I hated. And, so here's the deal, just like you, Steve, I loved everybody because, and you just realize how wonderful they all are as actresses, and that has held up. I still love all three of them. They melt my hearts in, all whatever. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. It made me sad to think that this actually goes on. I just, and then I guess, but the good news was, okay, you can't help but laugh out loud. To me, there's nothing better than a movie that really doesn't pull any punches, but makes you laugh. And laugh at the absurdity of it. At the end of the day, all it did was just show that, women were far superior to, they got productivity up 20% in 6 weeks, and the place looked like you want to go to it, and people were, they changed the whole climate. And that's the message at the end of the movie, that these three women, they were running the show to begin with. They finally got the credit that they wanted to. The only thing that I wasn't totally thrilled about, like, I was really glad that Lily Tomlin got promoted like she deserved to be. And I didn't like the Jane Fonda business where she just married the Xerox salesman or whatever. It just sounded like she went back into like, and she had so come into her own and had her, got her voice. It would have been nice if they would have had her be like some CEO at the end also. And of course, but the part with Dolly Parton, how could you not love that? Because, and I gotta tell you, anytime I hear that woman sing her 9 to 5 song, So I loved it. This was not my first time seeing it, but it had been years and years, and I just love them all. And I guess it'll hold up over time. It'll always be something that women will go, "Wow, I cannot believe we were ever treated like that," and
that we still are.
I also had not seen this all the way through. Like, this was my first time sitting down and watching it, and I think I'm actually going to watch it again because I had to stop a couple times to like take care of things. And I think it's funny that you guys kind of noticed and related to what is still resonating now while you were watching it, whereas I thought about it later. I was so caught up in like the farce that was going on. Like, it's hard for me because I actually got really wrapped up in watching it that I didn't write things down because I was just enjoying watching it.
That's
if
good,
that says as much as it needs to say. I loved those flashbacks where they're imagining what's going on. And I feel like HR should just show the scene where Dolly Parton is saying to Dabney Coleman the exact same things that he says. Like, they should not make those shitty HR movies anymore. Just play that scene because that was so uncomfortable and hilarious.
I thought so too.
Oh, I loved it. When you're coming up with like an ensemble cast and how much we loved Bridesmaids and that as an ensemble cast, I'm going to put these three up there in that category because they work so well together. You can see why maybe Grace and Frankie has worked so well for Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda.
Right.
And if you've never listened to the Dolly Parton podcast, listen to that podcast.
This was her first movie, Dolly Parton.
Right.
Yes.
She's great. She's so
she does
charming.
a great job.
This had funny comedic women who were all brilliant, but there's nothing really overly funny about what's going on in the movie, which is I think why none of us really have any like great funniness about it because it's kind of sad,
But I think what makes it work and doesn't get in your face and make you turned off is that they're so comfortable and they're funny and they're doing that part of it that the other is just sliding underneath, if that's making sense. Like,
it does. Yeah.
Like,
and listen,
they're making you
matches
feel like
reality.
it's light. Yeah, they're making you feel like it's something lighter, and then later on you're going like, oh, this is really intense what they're talking about.
Yeah, he wants to bring them up on charges for stuff, but it's like, well, what about sexual harassment, discrimination, bigotry? I mean, obviously you can't go to jail for that kind of stuff, but it's like, hey, dude, you know better. You know what I mean? They might be tying you up to the garage door opener and hanging you from the ceiling, but you kind of deserve it. So
I dated a guy like that once.
That's our comedy. That's our comedy.
Yeah,
so
right.
Are we at pie chart then?
Pie chart.
Okay, I'm gonna take whatever's left from what you guys want because this is a great female film. So I don't know how you guys feel about this.
It should be distributed evenly because I think it is something that is poignant and necessary for everyone to watch. And I want my daughters to watch this one day if I have daughters, and my nieces. So I'll take. I mean, I don't want to take more from you, Em, but maybe
I'm happy to divide it evenly if you want.
I mean, we could do 30, and 40.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Just because women empowerment,
Yeah, let us have a little more this time. That
you deserve a little.
All right, we're good?
We're good.
This was fun, guys.
It was. Good job.
Yes.
Love 9 to 5. Thank you for recommending it. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
I'm really glad we did this one too.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
we're socially responsible now. I like that. We're
I do
taking
too.
a new turn here, and that's a good thing. So,
Yes.
all right.
Wonderful.
Okay.
See you guys next time.
All right.